it shouldn't be done, to be honest. It should be done like this. You just a little bit more effort. Look at that. How bumpy this is. Look at this. Look at this now. Very important to get the professionals, and we're here to help you. Otherwise, you will end up paying double or triple, because now what's happening here all needs to go, because we can't reuse this floor because it's glued together. That way you have your warranties, you cover it with insurance. Welcome back to another BTS video, behind the scenes. So today we're gonna go and see Kangaroo Point apartment, just an inspection. We didn't do that floor. The builder laid exactly this floor, which is the heritage gray. And I'm all the way down, so I have my microphone very close to what you want to hear when you lay engineered timber flooring.
Yes, and you do.
Nice and solid. Yes. So now we're gonna go into the apartment and see how it sounds over there. Let's go. Hello, hi Deb. Yep, thank you. All right, here we are at Kangaroo Point. We'll just have a look at the inspecting floorboards. So what's the main issue here is this beautiful engineered timber flooring is laid as floating floor. So going back now to the sound of it, so you can compare exactly the same flooring, but what we've just checked on in the showroom. In my showroom, it's installed glue down, direct on concrete, and this one concrete as well, but with underlay as a floating installation method. Again, same timber, you can install it direct stick or you can install it floating. I'll get it closer. Look at that. It's like that's the sound you get with the when you lay it floating floor. The main thing is here is now it's been 9 months since they've installed that floor, and it's not going any better. Some humps and bumps. We're just gonna go and have a look at it. I'll definitely show you what's the issue is here. Is they got told by the builder who laid that floor himself, and he told them that don't worry, it will settle. It will never settle. What I see straight away is see the door frames. Look at that here. So what he's done, so obviously skirting's correct, sitting on the floor. He did undercut the architrave, but he didn't undercut the main door frame. So he's just going around it. So look at that 2 mil gap. So by the floating floor, let's say Australian rules, ATFA, you need to have 8 mil here. That's why you undercut a door frame, so you have 8 mil under the frame. Here it's just 2 mil, same as over there on this side here. What's happening now is you lose all that floating floor effect. So now you have 8 mil here under the skirting board, but you have only 2 mil here. So if the floor needs to move, expand, that door frame holds it in place. And when flooring has nowhere to go, it goes up. Let's go quickly and we'll see what's happening down there. That's exactly what's happening here in this hallway. Just put the camera down so you can see when I walk how bumpy this is. Look at this. Look at this now. I hope you can see it in the camera. So now, look at exactly the same problem. Okay, here is the steel frame. So you, if that other frame was timber frame, you can undercut it. You cannot undercut the steel frame. For that one, you need to just have a bigger gap. He didn't leave any gap whatsoever here and there. So the first thing, well, floor needs to move. When it's locked on both sides, as I said, it goes up. And that's what it's doing now. It's just, you can even, like, look at that. So That's the very, very common problem with the floating floors. So if you're doing floating floors, you need to follow those gaps. 8 mil of everything. You cannot install floating floor hard against any surface. 8 mil is a must for you. That's why, as I said in my previous videos about the flooring trims, you have the trims. And see here, because of the floating floor installation, now he's got the expansion trims here as well, so to separate the bedrooms. Like when you lay it floating, yes, you have to try and separate the areas as much as you can. So for insurance, for whoever is doing the floating floor, for everyone is safer to go. That's why big companies, they just not even offering glue down services, because there's more involved, different license to install glue down flooring, and you really need to know what you're doing. Here is just a floating floor with lots of expansion trims. You have to use them to separate the areas. If you direct stick, because there's no much movement, you can avoid them. At least we do that. So we just make sure that everywhere else we leave, like under the skirting boards, 8 mil and so on, so on. So we leave as much gaps as possible, but at least this is gone. So you have your floorboards flowing all the way, same way, so there's no separation. And now in every bedroom you have this, to be honest, ugly ugly trim that not even a good color match. So it does stand out here, and everywhere else where you have your, yeah, see, it's all, everything moves because it's no gaps, nothing there. 1-2 mil gap for floating floor it's not enough. Tip and trick for you, if you decided to go floating floor, couple reasons. It's cheaper, you can do it yourself, and so on. Just keep in mind, keep the 8 mil gap all around the perimeter, so you have that floating effect. Separate the areas with the expansion trims as much as you can to be on the safe side, and use different style trims to finish it against the tiles, against the sliding doors, against the kitchen, and so on, so on, so on. That's what it's all designed for. The downside of it doesn't look great. Especially when it's a nice apartment, Kangaroo Point here like this. It shouldn't be done, to be honest. It should be done like this. You just a little bit more effort and so on. But the main thing, client is saying that they're not happy with that floating floor hollow sound effect, and with that squeaking at night, in the morning, and it's not getting better. And that's why we don't do floating floors with engineered floorboards. I do have clients, 5-10%, as I said, in that they like floating floors because it's cheaper, easier to install, quicker. But before we lay, I always bring them together and say, okay, squeaking, movement, trims, this and this, you okay with that? Please sign, then we can do it. Because again, this is what I don't want to see when we lay flooring. And now the next one here is the toilet. You have your toilet sitting on the floating floor, which means now if you have any water damage, so the floating floor already has nowhere to go because he didn't leave any gaps. So if any water damage here, the floor will start in the joints, will start to go up. If floor wants to move, it will move. It will, I've seen island benches with this heavy stone on top cracked because of incorrect installation. So this is nothing to an engineered floorboard. If it wants to move, it will move. And if it has nowhere to go, it will go up and it will get the toilet up, which leads to either cracking your toilet or damaging your pipe, which leads to water damage. And then when you have your flooring or like insurance assessor come and inspect it, first thing what they see and what they look at is the gaps. Where's the expansion gaps? You did floating floor. Where's your expansion gaps? We don't have them because the builder said, well, those those expansion trims to separate the bedrooms is enough. Well, unfortunately, it's not enough. Insurance will find a way not to pay you. So pay attention, please. It's a very common that people do these things and they get burned a lot. So just keep in mind. So now there's a risk that of water damage of this one. I'm talking about 5-10%, but still there's a risk. Another thing is here see, when you like, it continues. So now it's even pushing. So because there's nowhere to go, so it's pushing up here, and it's starting to already. Yeah, see, it's going further, all the way up to the kitchen now. So this area here is still good. It's just a nice floating floor with no movement. Again, I can't hear any squeaking now because it's either early in the morning or late at night, or when you not used your floor for at least like 12-24 hours, and first walk is usually like this. So here, because we already done a lot of walking here, it doesn't make any sound. But yeah, kitchen is done right, installed correctly, because I think it's done by the other people. Toilet, because he's a builder, I think he did it himself. Here, kitchen sits on the concrete and floating floor just wraps around it. And the kickboard, like I always say, when you're doing your kitchen, please install your raw cabinets in, but leave all the side panels and the kickboards, leave them off. So when we come to do flooring, we'll just leave required expansion gap along the perimeter of your kitchen, and then the kitchen guys will just come back and put kickboards back in place to cover that expansion gap. How he did this, the staggering, that's the correct way. If you meet two joints, you have to, like by the rules, you have to have two full boards before you meet. If they see if they lined up, that's the correct way. So you have two full boards and then you can have another one. So then you can have two full boards and then another one. If it's possible, do it. Sometimes it's just not possible, because again, a lot of short boards with the engineered pre-finished boards. So sometimes it's not just possible to do that way, but this is he's done right. So overall, the installation, what I'm seeing, the staggering, and as I said, it's okay. It's nothing wrong with it. It's just a little finishes that here and there and all that, and you can lay it perfectly. But when you don't pay attention to detail, and then you start adding details here and there and that and that and that and that, overall experience for client will be, oh, they've done a bad job. Overall, it's done standard way. So what I'm seeing here, it's done very standard, and that's why, again, I keep saying that's why we're different. Because we do care about the finishing touches, like trims, like frames, skirting boards, and kitchens, and all that. So when you have your floors finished, it all looks neat. See, another thing is here that would we like. See, everywhere where you look, something's not right. Overall picture is great. Look at this, it's beautiful engineered timber floors. But when you start getting into corners, when you start getting into the finishing, like, no, look at this, like, I know what he did, these trims again, separated because of floating floor. Another thing is that client wanted to have this laid across usually the right way to lay your engineered flooring or any flooring is the parallel to the longest wall, which is this way. So ideally you want your floorboards going from this wall all the way up to that one. Laundry area, so it's more risk here. So ideally have another expansion trim right here to have this. If something goes wrong here, you're just replacing this section, not the whole lot. But because he doesn't have expansion trim here, If something goes wrong here, it will affect the whole area. So up to the bedrooms, because bedrooms are separate now. So kitchen, living, dining, hallway there, everything will need to go because of this. Yeah, and again, yes, there's nothing wrong with floating floor, but just make sure that you are aware of what's happening, because they've been told that yeah, they've asked for glue down. For some reason, builder just said yeah, and did it floating. I keep saying, if you're doing floating floor, please make sure you're aware of what's going on. And that's why we don't do, because I don't want to have this floorboards. Anyway, I'll do some measurements now. So what we're ending up now is they're not happy with that squeaking, with that noisy hollow sound. So now they're asking me to measure this all up and do it all over again from scratch. Remove skirting boards, kickboards, panels, trims, furniture, and start again, but already same floor, but gluing it down so it's all nice and firm, because that's for themselves. That's what they've asked a builder 9 months ago. So this floor is already 9 months old and it's not going any better. So now they have to start all over again and lay it glue down, so then when they walk, it's nice and solid. And another thing is that in 10 years time, 15 years time, when you decide to, like I say, let's say you wanted to change the color, you can sand it, stain and polish and put a new color in. With this floor now, as you can see, you can't do it, like it's too risky to sand this floating floor because it will bounce a lot, the sanding machine, and it will just, when it goes, it just will dint. Sanding floating floor, it's no for me, 100%. If someone can take the risk, yes, do it, but I've done it 3 times, as I said before in the previous videos. Never came up good. So we'll do bedrooms first because they're as a separate. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I have to go the old way. Okay, right. I haven't done this. Usually usually I'm keeping this one just to have the heights right. But I have to go now manually measure up. But anyway, good old times. I have to. Okay, we'll do it the old way. Yeah, 4.1. Yeah, okay. We've done all the measurements. So all floor removal, skirting boards, some kind of a leveling we'll have to do here because again we're not sure about what's going up here. Acoustic underlay, glue down, flooring, this and that and that and that. So yeah, pretty much that's it for today. But just keep in mind that getting professionals to do your floorboards that specialize just in flooring, not overall they're doing the whole lot. Like this builder, for example, he did most of it himself. So that's why we exist. That's why every bit of a detail in the frames everywhere counts. Very important to get the professionals, and we're here to help you. Otherwise, you will end up paying double or triple, because now what's happening here all needs to go, because we can't reuse this floor because it's glued together, because it's a floating floor. Those tongue and groove joints, they glued together. Now to separate them, all the locking system will just snap and crack and break. Now we have to get new boards and start from scratch again, painting and all that. So make sure you have the professionals to do your floorboards. That way you have your warranties, you're covered with insurance if something happens, and so on, so on. Yes, it's much more expensive than trying to do it yourself, but if you want to be covered, choose us. Anyway, thanks for watching. Instagram, YouTube, like, subscribe, and I'll see you at the next one.